in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Go pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that come from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Allah. There's one that accused you, even Moses in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? All esteem and praise to Abba and Shamaim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Sivo, Numbers 1 and 44.
These are those that were numbered, which Moses and Aaron and the prince of the Yasharah made 12 men. Each one was for the house of his fathers. So were all those that were numbered of the children of Yasharah by the house of their fathers. From 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war in Yasharah. Even all they that were numbered 600,000, 3,550. But the Levites after the tribe of their fathers were not numbered among them. For Yahuwah had spoken unto Moses, saying, Only you shall not number the tribe of Levi, neither take the sum of them among the children of Yasharah. But you shall appoint the Levites over the tabernacle of testimony, and over all the vessels thereof, and over all things that belong to it. They shall bear the tabernacle and all the vessels thereof. They shall minister unto it, and shall encamp round about the tabernacle.
Tell them what encamp means.
That is Kanah, to climb and climb to encamp, to bend down, to lay siege against.
Go ahead.
When the tabernacle set forward, the Levites shall take it down. When the tabernacle is to be pitched, the Levites shall set it up. The strangers that come near shall be put to death. And the children of Asherah shall pitch their tents, every man by his own camp, and every man by his own standard throughout their hosts. But the Levites shall pitch round about the tabernacle of testimony, that there be no wrath upon the congregation of the children of Asherah. And the Levites shall keep the charge of the tabernacle of testimonies. And the children of Asherah did according to all that Yahuwah commanded Moses, so did they.
Let's come to 2 Chronicles chapter 30, verse 1.
And Hezekiah sent to all Yasharal and Yehuda, and wrote letters also to Ephraim and Manasseh, that they should come to the house of Yahuwah at Jerusalem, keep the Passover unto Yahuwah Elohim Yasharal. The king had taken counsel, and his princes, and all the congregation in Jerusalem, to keep the Passover in the second month.
Right.
But they could not keep it at that time.
Now you see them doing the second Passover because they didn't do it in the first month. Now, you know, in the law it tells you, if by reason of travel or some manner of uncleanliness, that you can't eat the Passover, that you would do that in the second. Go to Numbers 9. 9 and 9.
And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Yasharal, saying, If any man of you or of your posterity shall be unclean by reason of a dead body, or be in a journey afar off, yet he shall keep the Passover unto Yahuwah. The 14th day of the second month at evening they shall keep it, and eat it with unleavened bread and bitter herbs.
Yep.
They shall leave none of it until the morning, nor break any bone of it, according to all the ordinance of the Passover.
Now pause. You can come back to 2 Chronicles 30, but let me ask y'all a question. What do you think the significance is of the bitter herbs and the unleavened bread, as far as the witness is concerned?
What's happening, Marvin and Omar, man?
He says you got to eat the Passover with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. What would be the significance of that? Now we've been discussing that Yahushua is that Passover. Read Matthew 26 and 1 on general principle.
And it came to pass when Yahushua finished all these sayings, he said unto his disciples, You know that after 2 days is the feast of the Passover, and the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified.
You a group, Roman.
Then assembled together the chief priests and the scribes and the elders of the people.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go to Exodus 12. The first verse that you see Passover in, I want you to tell them what Peshach means.
Read the verse or just the definition.
Just the definition.
Pesach, that is Passover or sacrifice of Passover. You got animal victim of the Passover, festival of the Passover.
Festival. And yeah, indeed. Yeah, that's what you have to look at. Some people respond like that.
So listen, go to Psalms 118. Go to verse 22.
The stone which the builders refused has become the headstone of the corner.
Right,
This is Yahuwah's doing that is marvelous in our eyes.
right,
This is the day which Yahuwah have made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Save now, I beseech you, O Yahuwah, I beseech you. Send now prosperity.
right,
Baruch be he that come in the name of Yahuwah.
right.
Baruch you out of the house of Yahuwah.
One more verse.
Elohim is Yahuwah, which have showed us light. Find the sacrifice with cords.
There it is. Find the what?
Find the sacrifice with cords, even unto the horns of the altar.
Tell them what bind the sacrifice means, man. Make sure you call the word out. Can you spell it?
Bind is Asar, you got Aleph, Samak, and Rosh.
Right, right.
And that is to tie, to bind, to imprison.
To bind, to imprison. What else?
And sacrifice is called.
See, that's not the word that you're going to usually see for sacrifice. The word in Hebrew for sacrifice 99.9% of the time is zabak, which means to slaughter or to kill. But it's got cod there.
And that's Kamat and Gamon.
And many of y'all are not probably familiar with that. Have y'all ever seen anybody post cod, shamak, pashak? You ever seen that before? Tell them what cod means, well.
That is festival feast, a festival gathering, a pilgrim feast, festival sacrifice.
If it's a pilgrim feast or a festival sacrifice, what does that tell you according to the information in your law? You got to come up to Jerusalem. Deuteronomy 16. I'm doing this for a reason. Just bear with me.
Observe the month of Abib and keep the Passover unto Yahuwah your Elohim.
Right.
For in the month of Abib, Yahuwah your Elohim brought you forth out of Egypt by night.
Right.
You shall therefore sacrifice the Passover unto Yahuwah your Elohim of the flock and the herd in the place which Yahuwah shall choose.
Right.
This is his name there. You shall eat no leavened bread with it.
Pause. Tell them what leaven means. Remember, we just read you got to eat the Passover with unleavened bread. We want to establish from a spiritual standpoint, what does that mean?
That's next, the thing leavened or leavened bread.
If it's leaven, guess what that means it is? It's fermented. And what else does it possess? Yeast. And what does the yeast cause the bread to do?
Right.
Now, we read 1 Corinthians 5 yesterday, so we're not going to go too far into that. But come on, Zippy, keep on rolling.
You shall eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days shall you eat unleavened bread therewith, even the bread of affliction.
The bread of what?
The bread of affliction.
Now you understand what that unleavened bread is, what that represents. It's the bread of what?
Affliction.
What else?
For you came forth out of the land of Egypt in haste, that you may remember the day when you came forth out of the land of Egypt.
Now pause.
Your life.
What it is? Isaiah. So we're gonna go over here to the verse in Isaiah where he say, "I tried you in the furnace of affliction." I had it right in my mind the first time. Go to Isaiah 48. Screw it, man. Verse 3.
I have declared the former things from the beginning. They went
When?
from the beginning,
What happened?
and they went forth out of my mouth.
What
I
happened?
showed them. I did them suddenly, and they came to pass.
Remember, Yahushua said, I told you these things before they happen, so when they come to pass, you know that I am He. That's the difference between Yahuwah and every other so-called God. Yahuwah gonna tell you what happens before it happens. Allah ain't never told you nothing. What Buddha ever told you? Muhammad told you can have sex with a sheep and young children. Go ahead.
Because I knew that you are obstinate, and your neck is an iron sinew,
You're hard-headed.
and your brow brass.
So he said, this is the reason why I tell you things before they happen, because I know you're stubborn. Go ahead.
I have even from the beginning declared it to you. Before it came to pass, I showed it to you.
What else?
Lest you should say, my idol have done them, my graven image and my molten image have commanded them.
What else?
You have heard, see all this, and will not you declare it? I have showed you new things from this time.
New things.
Even hidden things, and you did not know them.
You didn't know it. Pause. What he told you in Romans 16 and 25. We talk about it all the time. You know what it say, King? That nigga walked out of here before I could catch him. What Romans 16, 25 say? I was asking you a question. I'm asking you a question. Don't worry about you. You already failed. You flunked out. What Romans 16, 25 say? Why y'all be looking nervous? Y'all ain't going to jail or nothing. Nobody finna do nothing to you. All right, don't shake your head. What Romans 16, 25 say? Some people cannot see you. What Romans 16, 25 say there?
Was kept secret from the beginning of the world.
That man just got him a scholarship. 16:25 Romans.
Now to him that is of power to establish you according to my gospel, and the preaching of Yahushua HaMashiach, according to the revelation of the mystery, which was kept secret since the world began, but now is made manifest, and by the scriptures of the prophets, according to the commandment of the everlasting Elohim,
have been made known
to all nations for the obedience of faith.
So now that's what he's saying. Hey, those hidden things, you know them now. Let's go back to Isaiah 48.
You have heard, see all this, and will not you declare it? I have showed you new things from this time, even hidden things, and you did not know them. They are created now, and not from the beginning, even before the day when you heard them not, lest you should say, behold, I knew them.
Right.
Yet you heard not, yea, you know not, yea, from that time your ear was not open. For I knew that you would deal very treacherously, and was called a transgressor from the womb.
Now pause. Go to what this is. Matthew 13. Verse 17. Make sure I got you where we need to be at. You got no time for no. I don't want that. It's that chapter, verse 11. Matthew 13:11.
He answered and said unto them,
what do you say?
Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the Malchut Shamayim, but to them it is not given.
Now y'all know in Amos chapter 3, he says, surely Yahuwah will do nothing. But who does he reveal his secrets to? Secret, it just means a hidden thing. The testimony of Yahushua was a hidden thing. Once Yahushua rose from the dead, that was made plain, made known. The testimony being a hidden thing spiritually relates to what? What that relate to, Lil Johnny? Hurry up with haste. What? So, the secret being kept back relates to what? I'm going to tell everybody to boo this man. Now, go to Ephesians 3 and 16. And we hold it what? Deuteronomy 16. What else? Isaiah 48. All right, roll with it.
That he would grant you, according to the riches of his esteem, to be strengthened with might by his ruach in the inner man.
In the where?
In the inner man.
You know, he desired wisdom in the inward parts. He desired his word, his skill, his understanding, all in your inward parts. That's where he desired that, because that's where he wanted to dwell at. Remember the law? He said, I will build my tabernacle amongst you. See, a lot of people, how many of y'all heard that voice? He don't dwell in temples made with hands. Now, how many of y'all know what he was really conveying when he told me that? That's in Isaiah 66 and 1, by the way, for those who don't know. Yeah, he did, but what was he actually conveying when he said, I do not dwell in temple made with hands? Because he told Solomon, well, Solomon prayed something similar to that statement.
You know what I mean, Liz? Let me see if Zion. You know Zion? Put your head down for what? What you mean you don't know?
Let me tell y'all something, man. I don't know what you know or what you don't know. And you know what I'm gonna come lead with the assumption is that if you sit in here, I mean it's serious to you, you read on your own time. I'm not gonna make an assumption that you don't know nothing. So if you ask something you don't know, guess what that means you gotta do? That means you gotta tighten up on your pen, that's what you gotta do. I don't make assumptions about what it's something I learned a long time ago. Big homie taught me that. You assume people know until they show you that they don't. You don't know what somebody been, what they've learned, and what they've seen. So never underestimate another man. It costs you your life. But go ahead. Hold on. What's the verse I just asked you to read? Because somebody gonna answer this question.
I just read Ephesians 3:16.
You know what I just asked him? Because you know my mind bad.
What was he referring to? Not a single thing with him.
What is he referring to when he say he don't dwell in temples made? Read the verse for him, Sid.
He said that he would grant you according to the
No, Isaiah 66. My bad.
They'll say, if Yahuwah, Shamahin is my throne, the earth is my footstool.
Where
is the house that you build unto me, and where is the place of my rest?
Where's the place of my rest? But what his hand did?
And for all those things have my hand made, and all those things have been said, Yahuwah. But to this man will I look, even
That's
to him.
good. Now that's where he made the statement. Now I'm gonna tell you, when Solomon built the temple, he told him, the heavens of heavens can't contain you. How much more than this house that I built? So when he said he don't dwell in temples made with hands, what is he conveying?
How you want to dwell on inside of you, and that you know that idols are put in all different types of locations, so you want to dwell on you.
Indeed. But then this is also the second point. Let me ask y'all a question, man. What are temples made from? Nah, bricks, mortar. You think God dwell in that? Guess what a building is? It's temporary and it's an inanimate object. I mentioned this because in Leviticus 26, get it for us. Leviticus 26, pick me up at verse 3. See, people use that to say, oh, you don't have to have a building, which is really Simple Simon type logic. Most people, it's not their fault. Other people, it's to discourage people from gathering places to work. It's usually when you hear of people who are fresh to information or completely overzealous, which makes absolutely no sense when these people had temples and synagogues. It's just he don't dwell in that. Guess what? When we walk out this building right now, God is gonna be like, well, I just gotta wait till they come back. That's not how you operate. But that's what people want you to believe. He seeks to dwell in what he created, which is man. And that's what Passover unleavened bread is about. Setting up the process to go from the Pesach sacrifice to the first fruits of the giving of the Ruach to tabernacles or booths, and he dwell in you. That's what those feasts represent. Here's the atonement, reconciliation. Here's the first fruits that are produced from said atonement that I might succor or dwell in you. Because that was his desire and intent from the beginning. There was never a time period when Yahuwah didn't want to dwell in you. Why would he make you if he didn't want to dwell in you? That doesn't make sense. Go ahead. We hold in Matthew 13, Isaiah 48, Deuteronomy 16.
So if you walk in my statutes
and Ephesians 3.
And keep my commandments and do them, then will I give you rain in due season. Then land shall yield her increase, and the trees of the field shall yield their fruit.
Right.
And your threshing shall reach unto the vintage, and the vintage shall reach unto the sowing time. You shall eat your bread to the full, and dwell in your land safely. And I will give shalom in the land. You shall lie down. None shall make you afraid. And I will rid evil beasts out of the land. You
right.
shall sword go through your land. You shall chase your enemies, and they shall fall before you by the sword. 5 of you shall chase 100, and 100 of you shall put 10,000 to flight.
Right.
And your enemies shall fall before you by the sword.
Right.
For I will have respect unto you, and make you fruitful, and multiply you, and establish my covenant with you.
Go ahead.
You shall eat old store.
You shall do what?
Eat old store.
And bring forth the old.
Because of the new.
And what he told you can't do with old wine.
New bottles.
And what he told you couldn't do with a rent on a garment. But I bet not even worry about that part. What did he tell you about the old wine versus the new wine? He said it in Luke, but what did he say about that old wine and new wine? He said something very specific.
Say the old bottle can't hold it in reverse.
That's a fact. There's something else he stated also.
Somebody burst the bottle.
That's it. Many people desire the old wine over the new because it's better. It's what they're accustomed to. You know what I'm saying? When you sit back and you look at just most things in life, period, human beings in general don't like change. So once you get accustomed to a certain habit and way of doing things, and someone shows you a new and fresh way, you generally want to say, I want to stay over here. Now, the difference is with this new and living way that's been consecrated through the veil, that is to say, his flesh, you have to make a sacrifice that you didn't have to make in the Old Testament. You know, your forefathers made no sacrifices coming out of Egypt whatsoever. He brought them out of Egypt and laced them. Remember, it said, Yeshurun waxed fat and kicked. Matter of fact, he said, I laced you with so much stuff, you spread your feet to everybody that passed by. And you wasn't like all the other dumb hoes who get paid. You was paying all your lovers and got nothing in return. And I'm not adding that in there. That's what it's saying. Yeah.
Jake Vegas said structure and foundation. It's a question. Guess the question.
Oh, I wouldn't even know that. After what the question was later.
Nah, and those of y'all who been around here, y'all know that. That's what he said in Ezekiel 16. He said they give their gifts to all whores. You give your gifts to all your lovers and get nothing in return. He said you are contrary. Effectively, he said you's a dumb hoe. Because you don't even get paid, you pay them. And ain't nobody even come looking for you to do no whoring. You went looking for them. And you can see that with our people right now to this day. Don't nobody come looking for you. You go looking for them. Let me give y'all my money. Man, Louis Vuitton, they never came around here looking for you. They told you, these people can come out and tell you, I don't want you to buy none of my stuff. I don't want you to patronize at none of my establishments. And you'll fight, argue, and press to give you their money when they tell you they don't want it. And then be shocked when they oppress you. Our people always done that. We're the only group of people on the planet who do this. See, it's those small nuanced things when people argue, oh, y'all not the children of Israel. Shoot, you lying to me. Because I see that, but I've never seen white people beg to spend their money with people who telling them they don't want it. I ain't never seen Arabs do it. I ain't never seen Asians do it. I've never seen the Jewish people do it. We the only group of people who do that. What group of people you know let people sick dogs on them and bust them upside the head to eat at a table with somebody who said, I don't want you here? I just seen that clip from Life. Remember when he said, man, I want pie. They told him he was ready to be killed by some damn pie. Man, the minute the people would have told, man, I don't want your pie here. Now, prayerfully, I would have had that mind. I told you this before. We don't know what type of mind we would have had if we would have lived during that time. But I know the mind I have now looking at that, I wouldn't have got beat to sit at that table. Man, screw you and that table. I don't never want to eat here then. Because I don't want to be where I'm not wanted. You don't want me here, I don't want to be here then. And I'm not seeking your acceptance, validation, or anything that you got. That's how I know we have to, because we're behaving like, they think I'm making this up to Ezekiel 16:28. I know it's a nigga watching saying, he's making that up. I'm going to show you your mama should have made you up and threw you away.
So you have played the whore also with the Assyrians.
You played the what?
The whore.
For those of you who are not aware, when he's talking about playing the whore, the Hebrew word for whore is a not. It means to be unfaithful. So they were playing the whore with the Assyrians by worshiping the gods of the Assyrians. Go ahead. So when he's saying you're giving your gifts to your lovers, the things that you would have given to Yahuwah for offerings, tithes, sacrifices, etc., you were giving it to their gods. Go ahead.
You have played the whore also with the Assyrians because you was unsatiable.
Yet
Yet you have played the harlot with them and yet could not be satisfied.
Can't be satisfied. Boy, you ever seen a whore who can't be satisfied? And you know what dudes do? They marry. And you know what happens? They be shocked when she can't be satisfied. She with everybody. And that's effectively what God did with this people. He married somebody who couldn't be satisfied. Because he wasn't enough. Let me try this one. And you know the worst part is because it tell you in Hosea, after you get drugged through the mud and get done dirty, now you say, let me go back to my first husband. It was better for me then. That's what we better be God. Better glad that Yahuwah is not man. Because as a man, you couldn't bring your maggot behind back around him. You think you finna go sleep with 15 dudes and then say, you know what, you treated me better and nice. Oh, no. Oh no, you shoot for the whore, you got to go. But Yahuwah didn't do that. And that's why y'all give thanks and serve him. Because no man on earth would do that who has self-respect. That shows you the level of mercy and love and kindness that the Almighty has, because no man in his right, only men who do that are men who have low self-esteem. Go ahead.
And you have moreover multiplied your fornication in the land of Canaan unto Chaldea, and yet you was not satisfied herewith. How weak is your heart, saith Yahuwah?
You say, how weak is your heart?
Seeing you do all these things,
the works of an imperious
woman, and that you build your eminent place in the head of every way.
When he talking about eminent place, he talking about the places of worship. You build them everywhere. That's the groves. See, who remembers what the modern day grove is? Huh?
The groves, it look like the college.
The college is the modern day grove. What's the modern day Asherah pole? That and the flagpole at any particular location that you see. This is just a modern representation of the ancient forms of worship in antiquity. Now, when you go up to raise that flag at the flagpole, you're not knowingly worshiping Asherah, but the people who put it there, they know that's what you're doing. So there's a difference. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that like, oh, it's a violation for you because you went and raised the flag up. And I'm not even talking about the school boards or the superintendents or whatever the case may be. I'm talking about the people who have that knowledge in higher or certain parts and segments of this society. They know why those flagpoles are there. Certain people in certain segments of this society, they know that's why the churches were, but the colleges were created. Because you know what went down in the grove, right? Who know what went down in the grove? A little hanging, banging, and swinging. That's what was going down in the grove. And what go down on a lot of these college campuses. Y'all know because y'all was there and you participated too. No, I just say that because you think that you're being sent there for an education. The education is the trap to get you there. Not only to put you in debt, but to also get you in a location where they can brainwash you and then possibly you can participate in degenerate behavior and then go on about your life because now I got you.
They always pushing the experience, college experience.
That's the first thing they spend. They don't push, hey, go in here so you can actually get a skill or a degree in order to build your life. They want you to have an experience. When somebody's pushing an experience to you, they pushing carnality to you. They pushing the flesh to you. I done already told you, I wouldn't recommend any of you sending your daughters on nobody college campus. Nowhere. She's not gonna come back pure, I can tell you that. Oh no, and it's not because she's gonna be in the type of, nobody ain't that strong, man. You can't go in an area with that much temptation and you think somebody 17, 18, 19 years old will be like, I ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? We were just looking at, I seen this lady who was talking about, I don't listen to a lot of J. Cole music for full disclosure, but I guess he made a song talking about how he was the struggle to not cheat on his wife and then him not doing it. And every woman was like, how could he say something like that? And I'm like, man, because he's a human being. I know you want to believe a dude just love you so much that wouldn't even cross his mind. You're living in a fantasy world. Now, the reason why I say that, we've been talking about this before. This is not like the dude who work at Harvey's or might work at the bank downtown. This is a very famous man that everywhere he goes, maybe 3 to 5, being nice on the low end of some of the most beautiful women you'd ever want to see in your life are offering him vagina for free. No effort, no conversation, simply because he's J. Cole. And I don't think that you realize ain't nobody that's, let's just say in general, if he's on tour 6 days a week and say 20 women offering him conjugals, that's 120 women a week. That's 480 women a month. You think after 500 bouts of temptation, he probably not gonna slip? You really think somebody that strong? You really think he just love you that much? People ain't faithful to God, but you think he gonna be faithful to you with that much temptation. Remember we talked about this before, because what the Ice Cube said he did to fight that temptation. He said, I never went to them after parties. He said, I took my wife on tour with me and I go back to the hotel. He knew that I'm not gonna be able to sustain that. Yeah, it might last for a month, It might last for 2 months, but I got to get out of there because he's making a conscious decision that this is something that I don't want to do. So I know I have to set parameters so I don't fall into that. And I guess that's what that song was about, because he didn't say he did it. He said I was facing the temptation, and in that trial, I got out of it. And I know people don't be wanting to hear that because you want to believe this man just loves you so much and he's obsessed with you and nobody in the world matters to you. But we already know this here. There's a woman with a more prettier face than you. There's a woman with a better body than you. You can catch him when he's weakened down bad and he ain't been home in 30 days and his loins is yearning and here she go. He ain't got to be with her no more. It's fornication for the sake of fornication and he gone. This is what he's talking about in this text. This is why we've always talked about this before. He said that all manner of temptations, Stanley, what he say? He make a way. He make a way of escape. Because you shouldn't stand there and try to fight every temptation. Some temptations you can fight and some you gotta go. But see, the thing what we don't like to be honest with is to say that I was tempted. All temptation means is tried. You're tested. All in that song, he's letting it be known I was tested and I passed the test according to the integrity that I live by. See, that's what people don't understand. See, love shouldn't be the only reason you don't cheat on your old lady. It should be the integrity of what you live by. Because you can love somebody, still go have sex with somebody and go right on back to the house. That don't mean I don't love her. I just was horny and she was there. But integrity will stop you from doing it. You know what I'm saying? I done told you before, I'm not going to sleep with another woman on my old lady because I just love her so much. There's a particular standard of integrity that we hold that I'm not going to do it because of that first. Because I looked her in the face and said, it's going to be me and you. So for me to do opposite of that would mean to violate the very word that I stood on. I couldn't say that I was an integral individual by saying, well, it was just, no, that's not how that works. Yes, I love that woman, but I had integrity before I met her. That's what you got to understand. What type of man you were that. You mean to say you just developed integrity when you married a woman? That means you didn't have it. Just like I told a dude a long time ago, you hustle for your wife, you was a goofy. You should have been hustling before you met her. You should have been doing that before you met her. And then she gets to benefit off of what it is that you're doing because she's your responsibility and your duty, not your motivation for doing it. Okay, if she dies, then what? You know how many dudes that fell off and stopped doing stuff because the person who they said they were doing it for died? That means that's not who you were. What happens when the motivation goes away? We talk about intangibles, intrinsic. This is who I am and this is what I do, not based off of being attached to another person. Because we all know he said your life is but a what, Civic? That means, hey, same as you here today, they can be gone tomorrow. So is that going to stop you? It can't stop. I know it sounds cold and harsh, but again, what did we read last night? You have to crucify your affections and lust, so you can't make these decisions and have these thought processes based off of feelings. Because feelings fluctuate and change. Remember, we know love never fails, so the love of God is not dictated by how he feels in a moment. Because that's how a lot of people end up going sideways, because you make a decision of how you feel in a moment that can have long-lasting repercussions in your life. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I feel bad right now, so I'm going to sleep with this woman today. And guess what? Now you got AIDS. You went with your feelings. But guess what happened to people all the time? Boom, just that quick. Now you got a side baby. Now you got to deal with everything that comes with that. Maybe she busted in and found you on top of that woman. Now she shoot both of you. You know what I'm saying? Based off of a fit. We don't like it because we don't necessarily know people who that happened to directly. It sounds crazy, but it's people who that's their life though. Just like if y'all might have went to school with somebody who first time she ever had sex, she got pregnant. Some people had sex all through high school and college, never got pregnant. And some people, the first time they do it, somebody get them pregnant. Long-lasting repercussion on how you felt in a moment. Hey, I just told you this, I'll be in money. You just see this thing with Gucci, man. The boys made a decision in the moment. Now they finna be in federal prison for the rest of their life. That's why you don't make decisions based on how you feel, because you might feel like that right now, but you ain't gonna feel like that later. Go ahead, Simba. Call out where you at.
Ezekiel 16:31.
Listen what he said.
And that you build your eminent place in the head of every way, and make your high place in every street, and have not been as a harlot, and that you scorn higher. But as,
He said, you don't score no higher. Come pay me.
but as a wife that commit adultery,
He said, you like a wife who commit adultery.
which takes strangers instead of her husband.
My God, today.
They give gifts to all whores, but you give your gifts to all your lovers.
And what?
And hire them, that they may come unto you on every side for your whoredom.
And nobody come.
And the contrary is in you from other women in your whoredoms, whereas none follow you to commit whoredoms, and that you give a reward, and no reward is given unto you. Therefore, you are contrary.
He said, you stupid. You're backwards. Crystal said, she had the college experience, full-time student, full-time employment, definitely learned how to balance partying hard and her responsibilities. Then she started sending her kids, about sending kids to college. I don't think my daughters would be on campus. I had an apartment off campus, and it seemed like every year around homecoming time, somebody got assaulted or something crazy happened. I mean, because you're talking about young people with minimal supervision and alcohol and drugs, far away from home. And I'm not saying that to be funny, because the reality of the situation is at 18, 19, 20 years old, you may be considered a legal adult, but in actuality, you're still a child. You know what I'm saying? Because your life experiences are minimal. So at that particular point in your life, you know, for the most part, you're going to seek of what's pleasurable and what's fun. And this is what this society presses for you, is to go have fun, go have fun, go have fun. You know, life ain't always about having fun. That's why people get to 30, 35 years old and they still want to have fun, because you still have the cognitive ability of a teenager. And then when somebody who don't want to have fun all the time, they think there's something wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I don't want to go do that, nigga. It's like we have a lot of things going on, and all we want to do is have fun. And that's fine. That's the time and place for everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm also talking about the overwhelming desire to continually be a child. You know what I'm saying? Because children want to have fun all the time. You got 40, 45-year-old people talking about, I want to go out and have fun in somebody's club and stuff. What? Then look at what they say having fun is. Let's go somewhere and get intoxicated and inebriated listening to nigga music and then go home and complain about how I got to go to work tomorrow. And you wonder why your children's stupid and that they don't take anything seriously and that they don't have any drive or discipline. Meanwhile, the people who actually make decisions on your life, they don't let their children participate in such matters, because they want them focused on certain things, which is ruling over you. Now, this is by design. Now, this is not by accident. This is not by happenstance. It's social engineering. They engineer it this way. We talked about this before. In Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, they say they want to keep you at a 6th grade education. So think about that. I just want you to pause and think about it in your mind when you were in the 7th grade, if you can remember that far, because I can't. I ain't gonna lie to you. And think about the thought process and the things that you desired and wanted to do when you were 12. This is what they say they want to keep us at. For me, that was 1992. And I was at Landon Middle School. And the only thing we were doing around that time was playing football, baseball, basketball, playing video games. Some of our peers were participating in conjugals. I thought they were weird. You know what I'm saying? And not for the fact that you participated in it. Like, why is you so pressed to do that and think that I should want to join you? I don't want to join you. Especially you doing this with chicks who all y'all touching on. You know what I'm saying? What I want to do that for? Meanwhile, you stupid. And when I say that, I'm saying this literally. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not learning anything. The only thing you worrying about, and I ain't say you got to learn anything when you go to schoolhouse, but you're not filling your brain with anything, period, that can make you a competent, suitable individual as an adult. You don't even have a desire for nothing. And you think I want to participate in what you got going on. Now, that's because that's how my people raised me. So I see what you're doing. I'm just not moved by it. I'm not impressed. That doesn't seem fun for me. Just like a lot of stuff, 99.9% of the stuff that people do in America, I look at it and be like, you know, I'll go with y'all if y'all want to go, but this doesn't move me and strike me as this would be a good time. I don't want to do it. I don't care. I don't see the value in it. I don't see the the draw, the thrill, the esteem. I don't see it personally. I wouldn't discourage you from going. Niggas know that. We talk all the time. Y'all want to get on roller coasters. I don't see the appeal. I don't see the appeal. I never saw the appeal of a nightclub. Didn't see the appeal. Going here for what? It's hot in here. It's a bunch of people in here. I don't know y'all. I don't even like being around this many people at one time. Then we live in Jacksonville. You niggas crazy. I don't want to get shot. So I'm gonna stay home and smoke my weed. Now that I had an appeal. When I was younger, that appealed to me. For me, that was fun. I didn't need nobody around. Just me, Mary, and my thoughts. I was good with that. And my people. You know what I'm saying? If I fool with you, I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? As long as I'm with my people, we can be anywhere. It don't matter where we at. You know what I'm saying? I'm a simple man. Some people, they want to travel the whole world to see everything. We didn't talk about it before. I don't want to see the people places, and I don't want to eat their food. I don't see the appeal. Let's go here and try their food. For what? I'm not for Panama. I don't want Panamanian food. What if it's nasty? I don't want to go to Colombia. They kidnap Americans over there. They do. That's what happened to that boy. Some rapper boy from Orlando went to Puerto Rico. They got it, and that ain't even no international trip. You just went to Southern Florida. You don't need no passport to go. That's how I look at that. You go to Puerto Rico, you just went to Key West. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. Come on back. Yeah, we good. Ezekiel's 16. You can give him the bigger 26. Crystal say plus grown. I seen people arguing about that today. How many of y'all was in here messing with grown men when y'all was in high school? Mom do told the truth. No, because these dudes be complaining like the girls didn't want us, they just wanted grown men. I ain't gonna lie. The vast majority of girls that I went to high school with were not messing with grown men. Were there some that were messing with grown men? Absolutely. And they were usually the ones who were enamored with drug dealers, because that's usually who they was talking to. But in general, most of the girls I went to school with were messing with dudes who was in school with us. I'm not gonna say they do try to make it seem like it was just an epidemic of grown men messing with all the girls. All the girls in high school weren't messing with grown men. I wouldn't even say a good majority. I'd probably say only about 10%. It was just probably the ones that they liked. Maybe not even the ones that they liked. Them niggas might have been ugly. Or they maybe was socially awkward. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? That girl didn't like you, cuz. But we did know whether you were grown or not. If you had a car, you probably had a better chance. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We looked at certain stuff because you broke. I mean, we supposed to be broke. You should sit back and look at why you mad she want to mess with a grown man. That just tell you where her brain at. Don't be mad, especially now that you're 30. You still holding on to that? That's tough. Now I know why they be holding on. You know why they be holding on that little Johnny? When she swing back around that she shouldn't have had 4 kids from 4 dudes, and she was like, you know, I used to like you when we was in school. Oh no, my head that no, don't swing back around here now. But the dudes be ready to jump on her because they be wanting. And they be mad. Yeah, because she used to be built like a Coke bottle, now she built like a deep freezer. He upset. Go ahead.
Say, you shall eat old store and bring forth the old because of the new, and I will set my tabernacle among you, and my soul shall not abhor you. And I will walk among you, and will be your Elohim, and you shall be my people.
You see, that's what he desired, to dwell in you. Now, see, I mentioned stuff like that, all jokes aside, because I remember I had to tell one of the sister about that, like how people look at Yahuwah. Some people look at Yahuwah as that goofy dude that you knew always liked you, and you felt like he would always be there, and you could do him any kind of way, because when you got ready to fool with him, he'll be there, and people think God operate like that, and he not going to be there. Because he going to give you one opportunity, and you be like, nah, I'm good, I want to go have my fun first. And he be like, great, go have your fun, but but I won't be here when you get back. Because he got self-respect. Because to be honest with you, if you didn't want it then, you don't want it later. What you really want is the benefit. And that's what people don't realize. If you wanted something, you want it. You know what I'm saying? Now, getting your mind together to serve God, that's a different equation. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about wanting it. There's a lot of people been through here, man. I already knew first quarter, they ain't want it. I can tell by how they move, I can tell by their conversation. It didn't drive you. Like I heard this dude say, man, you gotta have purpose, the stuff that make you want to put your feet on the floor in the morning. Even when you're tired, even when you don't feel like it, even when you're sick, even when you're depressed, even when you're frustrated, even when you're broke, is this still gonna move me to put my feet on the floor? And if that's not a driving factor in you, you don't want it. You're not gonna do it. Just like I tell you, when persecution or tribulation arise because of the word, what happens to them? They drop away. They had no root in themselves. And see, these are hard things that we have to put out there because you got to examine yourself to consider. Because if you know you don't want it, it's best to go live your life. Because you're going to hell regardless. You know what I'm saying? If you're lukewarm, you're going to hell. If you don't do it, you're going to hell. So if you're going to hell, you might as well go to hell and do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not going to get the reward. So you might as well get your reward now. But if you notice what you want to do, you got to lock in. That don't mean it's going to be, you might not have some battles. I'm not saying that, but you got to lock in. And you have to push and you got to go. You know what I'm saying? We talk plenty of times, you're a human being, so things are going to happen. That's why I tell you, that's why we have to lean on each other and this, that, and the third. Like in this particular endeavor, that's the purpose of why he has a gathering of people, so you can fight with him and them. You don't have to fight alone. Because you are a human being. Being in the word don't mean your flesh go away. Being in the word doesn't mean disappointment, loss, sufferings, adversity. That don't mean that go away. It just now means you're going to approach those things from a godly perspective. Come on, Zillow. We're good in Leviticus 26. Go back to Deuteronomy 16.
Slow, brother Shaul, man.
And there shall be no leavened bread seen with you in all your coasts 7 days, neither shall there anything of the flesh which you sacrifice the first day at evening remain all night until the morning.
Right.
You may not sacrifice the Passover within any of your gates, which Yahuwah your Elohim give you.
Right.
But at the place which Yahuwah your Elohim shall choose to place his name in, there shall you sacrifice the Passover at evening,
Right.
going down of the sun, at the season that you came forth out of Egypt.
Drop down and when they tell you 3 times a year, I need you to slide through your collar version. It's going to lead you in the Feast of Weeks and Tabernacles, and we'll need to read all that.
Verse 16.
Deuteronomy 16:16.
3 times in a year shall all your males appear before Yahuwah your Elohim in the place which he shall choose.
He said 3 times a year you got to show up. Back to Psalms 118 and 27.
Elohim is Yahuwah, which hath showed us light, and bind the sacrifice with cords, even unto the horns of the altar. You are my Elohim, and I will praise you. You are my Elohim, I will exalt you. Oh, give thanks unto Yahuwah, for he is good, for his mercy.
That's good. Now we mentioned that because this is a festival sacrifice. So when Yahushua was killed, it was a festival sacrifice. Everybody had to come up, and there was a purpose because he was beginning the process for you to dwell in him, and him to dwell in you. Now, where we was at before? Yeah, you can toss that back to Isaiah 48. Let's go straight to verse 10.
Behold, I have refined you, but not with silver. I have chosen you in the furnace of affliction.
Listen, and remember he said that the unleavened bread is the furnace is the bread of affliction. So what does that mean? When you eat that bread, you saying that I'm willing to suffer with you. Remember he said, take, eat, this is my what? What happened to his body? He was crucified. What do we read that he said, when you eat that bread, you show what till he comes? So you saying when you partake in that bread, you saying I'm willing to partake in his sufferings. Now, how that suffering look for you, I can't answer that. Only God can answer that, and you'll know it when the time comes. See, a lot of people want people. I told y'all this other day, right? You know, it's okay to say, I can't answer that. Only God can answer that. Because everybody feels like, oh, you should have an answer. I don't know where you got that from. I can't have an answer for everything. I can't speak for this man. All we can do is prepare for scenarios that we have the proper information to be able to navigate them. So that's what a lot of people don't realize. In case when we talk about plenty of time, when we come in here, man, this is like if we was on a football team and the game just ended, and this is film study. This is making you prepared to see what you're gonna see when you step out of here, which is game day. And that's it. This is preparation. So you go outside, oh, I've seen that coverage before. They in a single high. I know how to adjust to that. Oh, they in the cover two, I know what to do. Oh, he's sitting in a nickel corner on the blitz. I know what to do. That's literally what it is. It's preparation. We be wanting stuff to be easy. But y'all know, even without this word, y'all know there's a lot of things that y'all sought to do in life and you knew that they weren't easy. And if you didn't know it was easy, you found out why you were doing it. And when it was too hard for you to want to do, you quit. And if it was something that you really wanted to do, you navigated those difficulties to overcome. And that's literally what the text is teaching you. He said, be of good cheer, civic. Why? And in the world, you're going to have what? So you're going to have that. But I mention that because when you get in the word, people like to make you believe that there'll be no tribulations, that there'll be no adversity, that there'll be nothing. I was just telling the other day, there was a time period when some people would come to me and be like, I thought you could be in the word, you couldn't die. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, are you seriously asking me this right now? And this is based off what they was hearing somebody else say. I'm like, baby, everybody die, baby. Everybody die. You being in the word is not going to stop that. Now, that's going to stop if you touch that second death, but when you go into that funeral home, that's for sure, them lights going out. It's just the state of where your soul is when them lights go out. See, if your soul right with you, it don't matter if your lights go out. Read John 11:25 on general principle. And you know what we got to go after that? If we read John 11:25, Civic, what we got to read after that on general principle? That we don't need no excuse for. Let's see if you know. You don't know. Let me see if Mama knows. That boy almost got out of something. He's still going though. Job 19:25. But 1 John 11:25.
So Yahweh shall said unto her, I am the resurrection.
I'm the resurrection.
I'm the resurrection and the life.
He
that believe in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live.
So listen, right? We started observing unleavened bread, what, Thursday, right? So we coming up on that point when he would have got up. And what day of the week he'd have got up, said? Why he would have got up on the first day, said?
He rested on the second day. I mean, he rested on the Shabbat. So the first day is a renewal.
It's a renewal. Get back to working. Why? Because what my father do, I do likewise. You know, a lot of Bruiser argue with you. He got up on the Sabbath. What would he get up on the Sabbath for? What you supposed to do on the Sabbath, Sid? So why would he get up when he's supposed to be resting? Now that's testimony for it. You want to read it? You know which one it is? Sid, you know for real? Which one it is? Talk to him, blood.
Psalm 16.
That ain't it. That ain't it. Help him out, LaJohn. You sitting here, you need a hearing aid. Genesis 49. Genesis 49:14. I ain't fooling with this thing.
Oh, that one. Oh, that rest was good.
Okay, that's my dog. You know what it is. Come on, man. Genesis 49:14. Run it down.
Issachar is a strong ass couching down between two burdens.
Couching down between two what?
Two burdens.
And
He saw that rest was good.
he saw the rest was what?
It was good.
It was what?
It was good.
And what else?
And the land that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute.
Now we know Yahushua bowed his shoulder to bear, but we're not gonna focus on that right now. Tell them what rest means, David.
Menuka, that is a resting place or rest, quietness.
Quietness. Exodus 31:13. Let's run the testimony down in the law. I want to ask y'all a question. What does the book say God said when he finished creating? What did Yahushua say when he was on that stage? So when he say it's finished, that means his work is complete. So why would he get up and keep working if I need to be resting? Go ahead.
Speak you unto the children of Yasharal, saying,
What did he say?
truly my Shabbats you shall keep.
What else?
For it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations.
What's the sign mean? That's a token. When you deal with a sign, at least scripturally, when you see something talking about a sign, that's evidence, testimony of Yahushua. Because what did the Jews ask him for? A sign, right? Same thing as saying in Ezekiel, this is a sign. When you see, what do you say the Jews always seek out? And what are signs for? Now you see how that worked when they say that the testimony was kept mystery, because we don't know. So this is a sign. But once you believe, you don't need signs. That's why he said adulterous and unfaithful generation seek after a sign, and they're not going to give one. Remember, your forefathers got signs coming out of Egypt. Why? Because they didn't know you were. That's why the apostles worked signs, because they didn't know the testimony of Yahushua. But when you know the word, what you need a sign for? Because he tell you that in Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 14, that's what Paul told you. Miracles are for the unbelievers. Prophecy is for those who believe. And we believe we should desire the word, not external signs. Go ahead.
So you shall keep the Shabbat therefore, for it is Kadash unto you.
Right.
Everyone that defileth shall surely be put to death.
Listen.
For whosoever do any work therein, the soul shall be cut
I want you to pause, because we've talked about this before, but I'm going to put it on tape again. When he talk about defiling the Sabbath, this ain't just talking about defiling the seventh day. This is about defiling the Lord. Remember what he said read Hebrews 4. Read me Hebrews 4 and 3. Because there's a lot of people, they may physically show up on the Sabbath, but they don't keep it. And I ain't talking about that 7th day either. Because you should desist from your own works, not just one day of the week, but every day. If you in Mashiach and Mashiach in you, how you keeping the Sabbath and you still breaking it? Because you're doing your own lust, your own labor, your own desires. It's just bigger. Anybody can show up to somewhere one day a week. That don't mean nothing. This ain't perfect attendance. You ain't getting no certificate at the end of the year. But that's the mindset. Nah, man, we can't have that mindset, man. This is your life. It's a lot of people showed up week in and week out. Nigga, wicked as hell. And when I say that, I'm not saying that arbitrarily. I'm talking about, boy, they was out here wilding. And they got mad when somebody say something like, well, you out here wilding. What you got going on? Oh, you condemning me. No, you condemning yourself. You was condemned before you came around here. But what you was hoping for was a group of people who would justify and condone your behavior. Man, if I roll with you, why would I condone behavior that's destructive to you? But see, most people don't grow up with friends like that. You know what I'm saying? Like growing up, me and my homeboy, boy, if you out of pocket, boy, he gonna say something. Now, granted, we were all committing crimes, but even still, there's certain things like, hey, nah, bro, what you got going on? Boy, you tripping, boy. Well, don't you go around there and do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is you thinking about? At the bare minimum, he gonna say something. You know what I'm saying? And if we offend each other, we gonna say something. Just like I heard, we used to tell each other, well, I love you, boy. I heard dudes, I never said that to my friends. Well, that's your business, nigga. That's my brother. I love him. What you mean? You think I'm supposed to act all tough and not tell my brother I love him? Because you think it's gay? Because you probably got latent homosexual tendencies? Why would I be reticent to tell a man I love him and I'm willing to take a bullet for him? And I'm willing to shed blood for him. And I could be willing to cover up crimes for him. And do this for him, and feed him if he's hungry, and clothe him when he's naked. And you mean to tell me it's gay for me to tell him I love him, and I need to qualify it by saying, no, I'm not qualifying nothing. If you think that means I'm gay, then that means I know you daydream about glizzies on a day-to-day basis. Straight like that. Because I'm not apologizing for that. That's my brother. I love him. I've been friends with this man since 1991. What do you mean? You done went through real life with this person. You know what I'm saying? But I just say it because I hear dudes say that. Because you want to be so tough, you overcompensated, sir. You're not that gangster. I know real killers, they don't act like that. You know what I'm saying? Some of them are psychopaths. I told you I got a cousin stone cold killer. That's why he's in prison right now. He ain't never come home. He don't need to get out either. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, that's it. You'll never hear me say free him. No, he needs to stay. He earned that life sentence. I know y'all be missing you people. You want to say free him. Then you got to need to pause and think about what he in there for. Nah. He need to stay. Listen, you know I ain't lying. You got homeboys. You know you want your homeboy to come home, and then you think about what he did. Yeah, he need to go in here to be in there. He maybe get his mind together. Now, also aside, for some people, prison save them because they be on a destructive path. It ain't necessarily somebody kill them, but they could. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they got to sit down and get their mind right, get their priorities together, get their focus together. You know what I'm saying? For some people, it's a blessing in disguise. For others, they just like men and they just keep going in there. And some of them just like white men that tell them what to do. It's the reality of the situation, man. Somebody going back and forth to jail, either you really stupid or you like men. And I'm telling you this from what I saw. I done told y'all this before. I don't want to tell it again.
Please don't.
No, I just tell you one. No, it ain't nothing crazy. It's just a fact when dude told me like, I don't want women no more. He had a C letter. And if you don't know what that means, in FDOC, when you go in, it's a 0. But when you come back, they add letters. So what that 0 is, it'll be whatever your DC number is, it's gonna be A and your DC number, B and your DC number. So he had a C. So that means he had been to prison 4 times. Dude from town. He's like, yeah, man, I don't even want women no more. I'm like, all I'm thinking in my mind is, boy, I can't wait no more. You know what I'm saying? Because you see certain things, and this is why I mean, like, I already knew I ain't had no business doing what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? I knew the consequence of what I was doing. But when you see certain things, it really make you assess the decisions that you made that led you up to being in this location. Like, and the only thing you think is, dang, I can't wait no more. And I'll never subject myself to this ever again. I'm talking about if I got to sleep up on the underpass, I wouldn't care. You know what I'm talking about? If I had to literally drag bags of human waste across the street for $3 an hour, it's better than be sitting here with you. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing cool about being in there, man. You realize when you go there, man, you failed. You know, the objective of as a criminal is to not get caught. If you got caught and went to prison, sir, you failed. You can't call yourself a man at that point. You're a failure. Another man tell you when to go to bed. Another man tell you when to eat. Man, I remember I was at Gulf Correctional and that man said, all right, y'all, get ready to go to the potty. I was like, oh, nigga, I'm a grown man. It ain't even nothing you can say. Because you put yourself in a position for a grown man to tell you that you're using the potty. It's men in here older than him. I hate it for him. Because, boy, I told you, boy. Listen, when I got sentenced, my phone was like 14. I did the math in my head. I said, she gonna be 18. I ain't selling no more dope, boy. I'm not coming back in here, boy. I wouldn't care, man. The money was cool. It wasn't that good. I didn't even enjoy it like that. It was just a job for me. You know how some of y'all got a job and you hate going to it? That's how I looked at selling dope. I didn't enjoy it like, oh, now I gotta get on the block, sit on the trap. Like, this is fun for me. I hate every minute of this. It's just how I pay my bills. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't enjoy this. There's nothing exciting about dealing with crackheads every day, goofy dudes, robbers and thieves and killers and shysters and connivers. What's enjoyable about that? I got to watch this dude because I think he might, listen, man, we was in the spot out east one day, man. Dude came in there, he said, man, I can get that dope. This man dropped down on the ground and pointed at it. I said, well, if you can see it, you can have it. You want to deal with that every day? Every day. Prostitutes, and these ain't the prostitutes you see on Pimps Up and Hold Down. These crackheads. And you want to deal with that every day. Usually when you're in that type of life, you're dealing with shallow-minded women. Yeah, that sounds great. Can't really trust the people around you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this every day. Can't even spend your money how you want to, because if you do it in the wrong spot, the police see you, or old nigga who got his nuts crossed gonna tell on you. Now you going to prison because the feds watching. Man, I told him I was sitting at my homeboy house on Atlantic Beach, man. I didn't know the feds was watching. I knew that day though. The post office right here. We sitting on the front porch. I said, hey man, that dude in that green expedition been sitting there for a long time. He said, oh, that's just the feds. Don't even worry about it. I said, nigga, what? Got up and left. I don't want to be seen with you guys. No, because his younger brother was my homeboy. So I'm really waiting for him to come out the house. And you look like the federal government watching you guys? And you cool with that? There were several times when I was outside and I reassessed, I'm like, this really your life, man? Like, not even being funny, like you really sit there and you go to thinking, this really your life right now? And then you just hit the blunt and just keep on living and be like, well, I guess it is. You have to figure something out. And I said tonight, because that's how some people look at when you married and whatever sin you in. Like, is this my life right now? And then you just come resigned to, well, I guess it is. And you just keep doing it. And that's what the enemy hoped for. That same mindset I had when I was, that's what he hoped for, that you had that mind frame that hopefully you do something and you get killed and you ruin your life and now your soul damned. That's how easy it worked. You know what I'm saying? Just like that. Now, of course, being young, you don't have the wisdom and understanding of the word to not get caught down bad like that. But come on, Simon.
Say, for we which have believed do enter into rest, as he said, as I have sworn in my wrath, they shall enter into my rest, although the works were finished from the foundation of the world.
Right.
For he spake at a certain place of the seventh day on this wise.
What he said?
And Elohim did rest on the seventh day from all his works.
And all his words.
And in this place again, if they shall enter into my rest, seeing therefore it remained that some must enter therein, and they to whom it was first preached entered not into because of unbelief.
Because of what?
Unbelief.
What else?
Again, he limited a certain day, saying in David, today after so long a time, as it is said, today if you will hear his voice, harden not your heart.
Harden not your heart.
For if Yahweh shall have given them rest,
It would have not.
afterward has spoken of another day.
That's good. So, hold on, we got this one more verse where he say we got to cease from our works like Elohim did from his. My bad, go ahead.
Therefore, remain therefore rest to the people of Elohim, for he that is entered into his rest, he also have ceased from his own works, as Elohim did from his.
That's really what we're supposed to be learning from the weekly Sabbath. That's the same way that Elohim ceased from his own works, that we cease from ours. You know what I'm saying? Not just one day a week, but every day. That's why he told you to take up your stake daily and follow him. Now you're not living for your own desires. Just on the house. 2 Corinthians 5, verse 10. We'll come back to Exodus 31. About 10 more minutes. And we'll stop for now. Before we come back on the second go round.
For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Hamashiach, that everyone may receive the things done in his body, according to that he hath done, whether it be good or bad. Knowing therefore the terror of the Lord will persuade men.
We persuade men. That's why we here. Knowing the terror of the Lord, we persuade you.
But we are made manifest unto Elohim, and I trust also are made manifest in your consciences. For we commend not ourselves again unto you, but give you occasion to esteem on our behalf, that
Right.
you may have somewhat to answer them which esteem in appearance and not in heart.
Listen.
Look at that part he said, that they esteem in appearance and not in heart. Some people want to appear to be godly. It's like we talk about people like to put on outfits, change their name, do all this here. You still the same rotten person you was before you changed your name. You think that you mean something because you put some ZZs on and you put on your Eastern Hemisphere garments? Like I was telling you last night, I told you this before. You know, I remember one time I was walking through him in Plaza, talking to some people about some word because the GMS boys was out there harassing people. And this lady said, you don't look like you know no word like that. I said, what does somebody who know the word look like? They had no answer. Because people had a mind then, well, I think you should dress like this or dress like that. Who told you that? Because if you look at it, Yahushua was a 30-year-old man who was a carpenter. And he told you that those that wear soft clothing wear what? So that means he wasn't walking around looking like what generally somebody would think the Son of God would look like. And I only mention that because people esteem an appearance. That's what they did with Shaul, with Saul. They was about, he taller than everybody and he handsome. but his heart wasn't right. And that's what that verse means when he say, man look on outward appearance, but Yahuwah look on the heart. He looking what's inside the man. Man looking at what's on the outside, how he dressed, how he talk, his physical appearance. So the aspect of people not wanting the word but caught up in exterior things, that's always been a thing. Because it's really should be about the word and their conduct. Because there's some people that, listen, man, my little homie in Detroit, they told him straight, I told him before, he said, oh, y'all hip hop brews. So they said, where y'all garments at? But they from Detroit. You know people from Detroit, you know how they dress. It's one thing for somebody from Detroit that's mandatory. Y'all know what that is?
Frames.
Got the buffs, got to have them Cartiers. That's mandatory. You know what I'm saying? But you think because, oh, now I get the word, that's a part of repentance. I seen a dude comment on a video of a congregation in LA because they was doing the same thing we were doing last night. He talking about this is just music and holding cups. You just assume they had liquor in cups. Maybe they were drinking juice. Maybe it was water. But that's how people be. Because all individuals do is sit back and watch other people and have something negative to say about what they got going on. You know, you're a miserable person. Somebody ought to hang you upside down and flog you. So you can get your mind together. You know what I'm saying? But that's esteeming on, that's the outward. You're looking at the outward. You don't care about that. You think he care because you got on expensive clothing, that means you more godly than this person? It don't. There's some people look at me like, nah, I don't like the fact he has a football jersey on. I don't like the fact that you care. Do you think I'm going to dress how you want me to dress? Then guess what I wouldn't be? I wouldn't be me. Just because you get the word doesn't mean you lose your personality. You use your character traits that were contrary to the word. Your personality stays the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, who care about that? I mean, as a man, as long as you ain't walking around here with pants tight enough the way you're going to have possible testicular injuries, you know what I'm saying? Or you around here trying to show your body, I don't care what you got. I mean, y'all grown. I'm not policing no grown people. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not doing it. So just talk to the little homie about that. That's all these dudes in the word want to do. Just mention it, because you know, because little baby said we in the cult. Y'all know what that means when you're in the cult? That means that you have overwhelming devotion to the leader. You can't have that if that environment isn't set. But you know what it also means? It means you have devotion to a religious reverence. So yeah, we in the cult. Yeah, we have a lot of devotion to reverence Yahuwah. Why wouldn't we? You know what I'm saying? Or it says that there's a particular set of beliefs that you live by. So yeah. Yeah, we dedicated to a particular cause. That cause is saving our soul. Because we don't worship men. Worshiping me ain't gonna get you nowhere, and I don't want it. Because what I'm gonna do with it? So we was telling brother, both of them this last night, man, just so people understand. This particular culture and environment, a group of people is fostered to how the word wants it fostered. This is a individual group that comes together as one. Meaning that nobody is over another person in that regard. That means if I'm out of pocket, then you should say something. And if he out of pocket, then somebody should say something. We all rolling together. It's not no, you can't tell him nothing, or worship him, or he's this, that, and the third. Nigga, that's lame. Because if I'm gonna be doing all that and I ain't getting no money, that's dumb. Because the people do that. Jim Jones was doing that and they were paying this man. Don't nobody pay me in him. Not to be doing all that. I don't even think people know what Coast is, man. You know Heaven's Gate? Remember I told y'all we did a breakdown on Coast, man. Y'all ever heard of Heaven's Gate? Some of y'all too young to know what that is. Who don't know what that is? And that was a group in California. I want to say the mid to late 90s. This man told them that there was a spaceship coming on a star, and they all had to kill themselves so they could catch their ride to heaven. And that's what they did. That's what David Koresh was. Jim Jones, everybody know about Jim Jones. I mean, that's what that dude did in Japan. Y'all don't know about the dude in Japan. Y'all too young for that. When they sprayed the poison gas on the subway trains in Japan, that was in the 90s, I believe, also. That's what that is. It ain't no real deal cults out here no more. You know what I'm saying? It's a couple, you get pimped. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't no real deal. Shoot, them people, matter of fact, the dude who put Dial on, that was a cult. The place where Craig Mack died at, RG Stair, now he was in, that was a cult. You didn't know that? Oh, yeah, man. That man was out there messing with young girls. When he say young girls, we talking about underage. Yeah, that's where Craig Mack was at when he died.
But I don't feel bad no more.
Well, you know, I don't know if he was participating, but you can Google RG Stair. Yeah, this is the background. Come on. Now I mention that because people throw pejoratives at people when they don't have anything tangible or feasible to say. So I'm gonna just say that's why you this and why you that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what most people do. Just like you say, like most people you deal with the word, people want to see, are you in the cult? They want to see that because the reality is most people want to worship man. Now they won't say that part out loud, but you can tell. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's celebrities, whether it's entertainers, whether it's athletes, whether it's religious figures, whether it's politicians, people have an inclination to want to throw reverence and bow down to men. This is why your word tell you what? Cursed be the man that trusteth in man, who make flesh his arm. You know what I'm saying? So that's a cursed state to be in. You know what I'm saying? So in general, that's what people look for. Most people don't want the word. They want to reverence a man. And people know that and they exploit that. You know what I'm saying? See, me, I don't like attention, so I can't do nothing with that. You know what I'm saying? I can't do nothing with that. What am I gonna do with that? And I've seen a lady ask this question. She say, why do men feel the need to be needed? Do any of you gentlemen have the need to want to be needed? It's okay if you do. Because, you know, I've heard a lot of ladies believe that they believe men have the need to be needed. I do not. Never have, never will. I don't need anyone to need me. That shows a lack of self-esteem and desire for exterior validation. Because if there's nobody who needs you, then you feel bad about yourself, and then you start participating in destructive behaviors. You know what I'm saying? So when you need to be needed, this is where people come in at and can exploit a group of people who want that, because usually that need is facilitated in that there's a hole of some type of masculine influence in your childhood. You know what I'm saying? And men will take advantage of that. Now, of course, when it comes to women, women are usually drawn to authoritative figures. Most men, you should know that. Women like power and status and money. Now, that just is what it is. Not every woman, but in general. So when you take both of these type of thought processes and you take somebody who is lustful for money, status, and attention, and power, then they're going to use that to their advantage. And it's a reality, it happens. But the main reason why I mentioned why that happens, because people don't actually want the word. Because if it was the word you was after, you would recognize quickly, he ain't got no word, I'm out. It's nothing personal. I ain't got nothing bad to say about the man on my way out the door. If you be like, man, well, why'd you stop coming? Shoot, door was trash. Had to go. Junk was trash, man. We ain't doing nothing for me. Would you keep going to a restaurant if the food was bad? And why you keep buying moldy bread? You wouldn't go to the grocery store and buy moldy bread. But you'll pull up on the Sabbath or a Sunday and buy moldy bread from a whole gang of people and try to convince yourself that it tastes good. Come on, sir.
You go with 2 Corinthians?
Yeah. You just keep on going. What verse is that? Verse 13.
Say, for whether we be beside ourselves, it is to Elohim, or whether we be sober, it is for your cause. For the love of Hamashiach constrain us,
Stop us.
because we thus judge that if one died for all,
Then we're
all dead.
and if he right before he died, he said it's finished, and he saw rest was good, then you determine that rest is good also. So you cease and desist. That's what Shabbat means, to cease and desist. So we look to enter into his rest and cease and desist. It's bigger than just one day out the week. You know what I mean? Come on, where you at? You can cut 2 Corinthians. We gotta roll this out. Hold it, we'll wrap this up.
Exodus 31.
Run that for me. What verse you in?
13.
Go ahead.
Speak you also unto the children of Israel, saying, truly my Shabbat you shall keep.
Praise
a
you.
sign between me and you throughout your generations, that you may know that I am Yahuwah, that do sanctify you. You shall keep the Shabbat therefore, for it is Kadash unto you. Everyone that defile it shall surely be put to death, for whosoever do any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people.
That man said, if you tread underfoot the covenant of the son of Elohim, I'm gonna say it wrong. Go read Hebrews 10 and 26. You just gotta understand the listen, right? It's not that it's pressure on you. It's for you to understand the gravity of what you're saying you're doing. Because the most part, a lot of the things we get involved in is very rarely that people really impart the weight of what it is. When you say weight, it's not like weight that's weighing you down, but the seriousness of what you're about to do. Like, most people don't get told the seriousness of having children. They just let you be reckless with your reproductive organs until you pop up with some children. Now you got to understand the seriousness of one of the most sacred responsibilities that a man or woman could ever have. Do you understand how sacred of a responsibility it is that you're entrusted with crafting the mind of someone to an adult? It's not about let's go have fun, let's go do this. You've been entrusted with a sacred responsibility of developing a mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, just ponder on that for a moment. You're developing a mind. I'm taking somebody and I'm preparing a future husband, a future father, a future man in his community, a future mother, a future wife, a future sister in her community. That's a sacred responsibility. We don't really get imparted of how serious that is. You know what I'm saying? Not serious in a scary way, but understanding the gravity of that responsibility. Because to be given that responsibility is a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? When you understand that, then it don't. That's why I tell you, that's why, like, we have high level expectation for 4-year-olds. These are children, cause they ain't been here before. You know what I'm saying? But you expected them to do stuff because you don't understand the gravity of instruction and the patience that you have to craft a mind, because you expect, well, I told you the first time, you should have got it. Like everything you got told the first time you mastered. You know what I'm saying? And I've always told you, if you look at the way that Yahuwah rears his children, which is all of us, you'll see the level of patience and long suffering and detail and understanding and the way that he instructs to develop his children. Then you would replicate it. Because all the things that I be talking about dealing with children, this is not just my personal point of view. It's developed of seeing of how he literally raises us. This is where we get it from. It's strictly Bible. It's strictly text. It's strictly how he operates. Remember, he said he pitieth us like a father pitieth his own son. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at that and you understand that, you be like, you know what? That's probably one of the swiftest ways, in my opinion, where the character of God can be developed in you and how you interact with your children. If you exhibit godly characteristics of them, the character of God will bubble up in you in every other area of your life. Because them children literally in your image and in your likeness. And truth be told, if you were married when you had your children, then them children should be the expression of the love that you have for their mama. But see, a lot of people didn't have love for that woman when they had sex, for it was just carnal desire. And that's why some children get raised the way that they get raised, because them two people didn't love each other when they made them. You know what I'm saying? But when them two people love each other when they make them, then that child is an expression of the love I have for your mama. That don't mean you and your old lady might not bump heads. That's gonna happen. You're grown. You know what I'm saying? I know people like to live in a fantasy world. Sometimes you're gonna butt heads with your old lady and vice versa. You might do something she don't like, and she might do something you don't like. That just is what it is. You know what I'm talking about? But if y'all love each other, whatever that is, that love gonna be greater than that. The love should always be greater than that. There should be nothing in this life unless it's outright egregious and detestable that should destroy the love. That means if it was destroyed, it was never there. You know what I'm saying? I told you this. I told y'all when me and my old lady got married, I told her in this house, lead with love, my nigga. I don't care how mad you is. I don't care how upset you is. You know what I'm saying? Just lead with that. Because if you lead with that, it can be dealt with. Meaning, even if you're wrong. Because I done told you before, you can be right and still be wrong. And your desire to want to be right, you can ruin the love. Is it about being right? Or is it about reconciliation and the love? Because you can justify yourself, I was right, but you ruined the relationship. So was it worth it? Because remember, love don't seek her own, and love don't lift herself up. So you need to be right that bad. If you need to be right that bad, that means that's an internal issue with you. You need to go get help. And when I say that, I'm not saying that to be funny. That means there's something happened to you where you possibly were, you know what I'm saying? Where you feel like, I need to be right. And I keep pressing it and pushing it and you know what I'm saying? To the point that this person who I say I love, I'm gonna injure them just to prove to them that I was right. And it ain't that serious. Because I promise to you, when you looking down in that casket at a nigga, you're gonna realize none of that stuff was that serious to be walking around here looking ugly like that. It's not that serious. Then you're gonna wish that person was there to get on your nerves, unless you hated that nigga. Then you, I'm glad he did. Come on. See, I know you're not gonna do that. See, I just read an article. See, Nisha gonna be one of the people. God forbid her husband dies, she ain't remarried. No, the article was about, they say like 81% of widowers remarry, and that women are less likely to remarry. But I think a lot of that be on one, it shows that men genuinely can't hate women like most people think. You know what I'm saying? I've never heard a lot of dudes say, I don't need no woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, he don't want around. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they was asking people, would women want to be in a planet with no men? And all the women was like, yeah. And they asked the men, they was like, hell no. And I won't be around a whole bunch of dudes. Absolutely not. What? There's no scenario in life where you be like, you know what sounds great? Let's be around men. Not at all. That sound appealing to y'all. Yeah, that ain't that. But I say that because I genuinely, like, if a woman like genuinely loves a man and he passed away, nah, I ain't gonna do that. That's why ain't nobody gonna be able to marry Laura London. You gonna be following behind a ghost. You know what I'm saying? Because she in love with a ghost. Can't do nothing with that. That's almost that's a bad situation to be in. Come on with it, man.
Say, for if we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remain no more sacrifice for sins, but a certain fearful looking for judgment and fiery indignation, which shall devour the adversaries. He that despised Moses' law died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses. Of how much sore punishment, suppose you, shall he be thought worthy, who have trodden underfoot the son of Elohim, and have counted the blood of the covenant
Unkadash thing.
where he was sanctified by Kadash thing, and have done despite unto the rock of grace.
That's tough. That's tough. Come back to Exodus 31. We'll stop at Matthew 13. Because if we've been drawing this out, you know we're gonna do an interlude. You got the records ready? Memorize your rhymes. Yeah, that nigga talking about he don't speak English. Yeah, now he Nicaragua. Now I ain't never been over there.
That's a good one.
Can't even spell it. He don't even say it right. He don't even say I'm Nicaragua. He just say I'm Nick and stop. Call ice on this thing. Come pick him up. Go ahead, man.
Say 6 days may work be done, but in the 7th it is a Shabbat of rest, Kadash to Yahuwah. Whosoever do any work in the Shabbat day, he shall surely be put to death.
Put it there.
Wherefore the children of Yasharah shall keep the Shabbat, to observe the Shabbat throughout the generations for perpetual covenant.
So listen, Matthew 13:11. And that's what you're looking at. It's a perpetual covenant if you keep the Shabbat, which you can keep Yahushua because you cease and desist. You keep that continually.
He answered and said unto them, because
But that's why he got up on the first day. Because now he go back to working, back to creating, back to doing this, back to doing that. But that seventh day, I'm gonna cease from all my works, because he said he'd be refreshed. And that word in Hebrew for refresh means to be made renewed, or to have breath breathed in. Excuse me, have breath breathed in. Read that definition for refresh. Tired, boy? Tired? You ain't got no job. What you tired from? What you looking crazy for? Other man said he want to perform with you. That's what y'all trying to do, because y'all trying to waste my time.
refresh is nafaj, to take breath, to refresh oneself.
See, it say on the seventh, you think the Father in heaven needed to refresh himself with some breath. So you think about that for a moment. Yahushua went in that grave when you die, what you ain't got? Oh, ain't no breath in your lungs. He said on that seventh day, he was refreshed. Took breath again. After he took that breath again, he got up and went back to work. Remember, he said there's a time period when no man worked. He said what time of period that was in the night. In the night. But let's go with it, man. But you know, that's people have an issue with that because they want to fuss and argue with people about Easter. I'm not one to do all of that. There's a lot of things I'm going to do and argue about what people want to do with their life. They ain't want to. You know what I'm saying? We can have a conversation where it come from, but I'm not looking at the people. Why you do that? It's not my business. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got brews. They get mad. I hate the holidays. What you hate them for? I ain't even being funny. What you hate them for? What they got to do with you? If them people want to celebrate Christmas, so what? What they got to do with you? You ain't mad about that brother in your congregation who's sleeping with other men's wives. That don't bother you none. But the white lady at the grocery store that said Merry Christmas to you, that's where you draw the line. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously. I tell brothers that all the time. Like, I don't want to hear nothing, oh, these Christians doing, I don't want to hear that, bro. Not when you got a dude you sitting next to and he beating his wife and you know it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear nothing. I don't care about that, bro. You get them boys in order before you worry about what the people do. You know what I'm saying? I ain't worried about what the people do. They cappies, we gotta save our people out of there. You don't care about the people, nigga. Truth be told, most of these dudes was never in nobody's church as a card-carrying servant member in the first place. So I don't know what you're mad about. I always told you, I don't know what you're mad about. Any of y'all was a real member of a church. I ain't talking about you showed up every now and then to some special events. I'm talking about you were there and you served all the time. Yeah, ain't none of the boys did that. That's why I don't be mad at them people. I ain't never been to church. I ain't got no beef with them people. I ain't got nothing bad to say about them. You know what I'm saying? Period. And you ain't gonna never hear me have nothing bad to say about them. You know what I'm saying? And if I sit down and talk to them, like, well, why you believe what you believe, they can show it. And this is why I believe what I believe, man. Maybe we come to a meeting of the minds, maybe we don't. But I can still respect him as a man. I ain't got no issue with you because I don't celebrate Christmas. Well, why don't you do it? I don't see it in the text. I know the origins of that particular day. I knew the origins of that day before I was in the Word. So no, I don't do that. Personally, you want to celebrate Easter? What that got to do with me? You know what I'm saying? That's what people's problem is. You taking personal stuff that ain't got nothing to do with you. That ain't got nothing to do with me. So I don't even invest no time in that. Yeah, I don't care what most of these brews do. I don't care what you do. If that's what y'all do over there, that's what y'all do over there. Just like dudes that they teach multiple wives. Okay, they do what they got to do with me. I'm supposed to be mad and have my life focus be because the dudes want 5 wives. Well, you know what I tell them? You know what I tell them? Take it up with the Lord when you see him. We don't promote that. We can show you why we don't promote that in the text. A lot of brothers will tell you doing that to appease the women. That's you, nigga, because that's how you live your life. I don't do nothing to appease nobody but God, man. I don't see you in Mashiach have no 3, 4, 5 wives. I can show you. I done showed dudes before, they was like, you stretching it, man. We don't stretch though, cuz straight drop. 28 and 4, if you know, you know. That's what we do. Get it to you like this here, man. You ain't coming back to back with this here, because you're gonna be high for a while. You know what I'm saying? But listen, we don't do that. Man, listen, man. He tell you kings ain't supposed to multiply wives, right? He told you in Mashiach's blood what you'll be. So you can't multiply no wives, cuz. Then we know Malachi, what he told you, man, that I might make one, that they might be a what? A godly seed. That's the end of that conversation. Now, if you agree with that or not, well, it doesn't condemn it in the law. What then? Why are you trying to convince me? Because if you was justified, you wouldn't be out here arguing and debating people, trying to convince them. And then on top of that, if you really was the stone cold player pimp that you say you is, man, you wouldn't be trying to guilt trip no woman to go for that, because you would be so cold with your game that she would want to get down with it. Real pimps and players don't do that, man. I'm not going to tell no woman, you wicked if you don't want to be my third wife. You's a buster. You trying to guilt trip a woman to believe she going to hell so she can be with you. This is what people do. You believe if you thought you was right, would you spend all your day? I just seen a dude say he bet $100,000. Can't nobody prove that polygyny wrong in the Bible. Why is you doing that, cuz? Would you do that? I just happy 5 wives then. And wouldn't feel the need to explain it to nobody. If I believe that like that. But they don't be believing that like that. That's why they do that. I'm just using that as an example. If you are solidified in what you believe, you don't have to walk around here trying to convince everybody. Are you trying to convince them, or are you trying to convince yourself? Because if you know, listen, if you know you're not gay, would you spend your time trying to convince somebody you're not gay? See how you laugh at that, little Johnny? That sounds crazy, don't it? I had to use that extreme. And I wasn't referring that just to men, like just period. If you weren't a transsexual, would you want to spend your time proving to somebody that you're not? You know why? Because I know I'm not. So if you believe that what you teaching is right, then you say it one time, and what he told you said, because they won't accept your testimony. Dust your feet off and dip. I said what I had to say. We'll close with Matthew 13:11 before the trap open for round 2. You know what I'm saying?
He answered and said unto them,
What did he say?
because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of Shamaim, but to them it is not given. Whosoever hath to him shall be given, he shall have more abundance. But whosoever hath not from him shall be taken away, even that he had. Therefore speak I to them in parables, because they seeing see not, and hearing they hear not. Neither
Last.
do they understand. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which says,
And this is Isaiah 6 that he's referencing.
by hearing you shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing you shall see, and shall not perceive. For this people's heart is waxed gross,
And their ears,
are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest at any time
they should
see with their eyes,
and hear
with their ears,
and understand,
with their heart,
lest they should be.
converted, and I should heal them.
Oh yeah.
But Baruch are your eyes, for they see,
Hold on. See, you already told you. Blessed are your eyes, for they what?
for they see,
And your ears.
for they hear.
Why?
For truly I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which you see,
And have not seen them,
and to hear those things which you hear,
and have not heard them. And that's where that testimony coming at. Now we was in Sunday in 2 Chronicles. I gotta get accustomed to rolling. Like I said, you know, we used to sit down, we just look right at it. But we was talking about what verse we started in 2 Chronicles 39. The second Passover. But just read verse 8. We'll stop at that, man. It's 3:15 right now. We need to stop. We had about an hour or so of intermission. Boys to do a few reps. We'll pick it back up. Come on, suppose. 2 Chronicles 30:8.
said, now be you not stiff-necked as your fathers were, but yield yourselves unto Yahuwah, and enter into a sanctuary which you have sanctified forever.
Enter into his what?
A sanctuary.
Now we mentioned that on the first day, that Mikdash. And he said he'd make himself a sanctuary, and everywhere you've been scattered. So enter into Yahusha. Go ahead.
Serve Yahuwah your Elohim, that the fierceness of his wrath may turn away from you.
Because remember, in Romans 5, he said he's not appointed us unto wrath, but unto what? You don't know. Who know what he said? Romans 5 and 9. That'll help you out.
Keep talking to yourself.
You got the answer?
You got the answer why you laughing?
Say much more than being now justified by his blood.
Oh, you reading it? He's supposed to have the answer. Come on.
Much more than being now justified by his blood, we shall be saved from wrath through him. For when we were enemies, we were reconciled to Elohim by the death of his son. Much more being reconciled, we shall be saved by his life.
Yeah.
And not only so, but we also joy in Elohim through our Lord, Yahushua Mashiach, by whom we have now received the atonement.
That's right.
Wherefore, by one man, sin entered into the world, and death by sin. And so death passed upon all men, for they all have sinned. For until the law, sin was in the world, but sin is not imputed when there is no law. Nevertheless, death reigned from Adam to Moses.
That's good because he wouldn't pass it. It might have been 5 and 6 or something like that. Where he said, he hasn't appointed us under wrath. But yeah, Jim Jones is the one with the Kool-Aid. Jim Jones specifically recruited black people too. He wasn't even black. Huh?
Try to get them niggas out of there.
No, I mean, it was honestly, let me choose my words wisely. Just based off of looking at how Caucasians versus so-called Negroes respond to religious organizations in the United States of America, I would say both segments of that population are inclined to give money. Of course, white people have more money, so those coffers are great. But in general, I believe they know that black people are more inclined to cleave to religious ideologies and charismatic religious figures to go in a particular direction. Which is why they usually try to get certain men of our people in certain positions as a means to keep the people in a specific place. It's just some of them we don't fool with like that. Like, no disrespect to him, but like when Jesse Jackson just died or whatever the case may be, like in general, black people ain't fool with him like that. Like people was in his organization, but like as a whole, you ain't hear nobody be like really reverence Jesse Jackson like that. You know what I'm saying? But he was one of those that they use. Like they throw Al Sharpton out there, they throw Benjamin Crump out there. Like black folks don't listen to Benjamin Crump. They know he's an opportunist. They know that Al Sharpton is an opportunist. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they threw their ultimate Trump card and rolled Obama out there to you. You know what I'm saying? Because he was a clean cut, you know what I'm saying? Non-offensive fella. Because they'll throw anybody out there when they feel like we getting a little antsy, or roll somebody out there to you. You know what I'm saying? But I think in general, with this generation of youth, they don't really fool with these dudes like that. So it's a little bit more difficult. So now they're trying to use the entertainers and this, that, and the third to use them for. Like you got, and I'll tell you the bad state of where our people at, and I hate to keep referencing it. I see grown men saying Gucci from 2006 wouldn't go for this. Now, but I say that because this is an individual thinking that a 46-year-old man should respond as a 26-year-old man would have done. This shows you the state of where the men of our people are at, to think that a almost 50-year-old man should still be acting the way he did when he was 25. So basically, he just wasted a quarter century of his life. And we think that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it is what it is. We ain't got nothing else. We'll call it tonight, man. Hallelujah for Yahushua word. We'll take a pause for the call. Go ahead.
Hey, real quick. I just want to reiterate the rules that we have here. All right, everybody's done still a job since we've been here. One thing I want to reiterate is bathroom. All right, make sure you're accompanying your children to the bathroom. You just have to $100 for the plumbing because somebody, I don't want to say it was a kid, but